going to read, the public is invited to attend this meeting. The Board of Public Works and Safety may impose reasonable restrictions on the number of attendees to control audience density in consideration of the existing COVID-19 national emergency. The public may participate remotely by dialing 463-777-8704 and entering the following participation code, 872995. If you would like to provide comments remotely, email them to me at rrafala@cityoflawrence.org or call 317-775-8018. Doug, it's yours.
Okay. Thank you for that introduction on for our citizens.
Michael Farmer
has joined the conference.
I'm going to welcome all of you to the Board of Public Works and Safety.
Has joined the conference.
I'm going to start over just because maybe that was on our airline. I'm not sure there. Welcome to the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting today, 5 p.m., April 23rd, 2020. And we are going to call the meeting to order. And if I could have Renee go through and give us an individual voice attendance, and we'll proceed after we do that.
Okay, I show on the line Doug Reeser, Sean Wright Browner,
Here.
Present.
Mark Clark,
Present.
City Engineer Sri. Sri, are you there? Oh, no, okay. Ashley Hopper, City Attorney.
Present.
Randy Warman with American Structure Point. Randy, are you there?
Is he on mute?
He might be.
Present. I was on mute, sorry.
Michael Farmer with American Structure Point.
No, he's at Shrewsbury.
Shrewsbury, sorry.
American Structure Point wishes, but yeah, I'm here.
Jason Fendwick, City Controller.
I'm here.
Dino Batalis and Renee Raffler are in person. Anyone else on the line that I need to?
That sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
Have those folks will be part of our record of this meeting. And the first item we have for today before the board would be the minutes of the April 9th, 2020 meeting. I would ask if there are any corrections or deletions to those minutes. Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt the minutes from April 9th?
Motion to adopt.
By Mrs. Browner, is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Clark, are there questions on the motion? Hearing those, all in favor, and we'll do this in a roll call manner, will signify by saying aye. And I'll let Renee, you want to do that, or you want me to
I
go
can.
through the group?
I can do it, sir. Doug
You
Reeser.
can do it? Or aye.
Sean Wright Browner.
Aye.
Mark Clark.
Aye.
The minutes are approved 3-0. Thank you. We're going unfinished business is on our agenda, but we have none before the board today. We'll go directly into new business at this time. Item A before us is an agreement with American Structure Point, Inc., standard form agreement between the owner, City of Lawrence Architect, American Structure Point, Inc., for the new fire station number 38. And I would assume City Legal has had an opportunity to review this agreement.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. That was my first question. And then I would open at this time any questions from the board concerning this agreement.
Yes, I read through this quite a bit, but I do have a funny question. On page 48, it says possible detention pond. Is that supposed to be retention pond? Because I've never heard of a detention pond. The aerial view on page 48.
So
it's neither here nor there, but I just didn't know if that was a typo and needed to be correct.
No, I think I can clarify that. I'm Sri, the city engineer. So there are two
Okay.
kinds of ponds, retention and detention. Both are there.
Okay,
The detention ponds is actually where you'll see water in there. So there is detention pond and retention pond. So based on the design here, there might be a detention pond here. I haven't seen the design yet, but yeah, it might not be a typo. It might be a detention pond.
okay, perfect.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Are there other questions? Okay, hearing no other questions, is there a motion to approve this agreement?
Motion to approve.
By
Mark
Mr.
Clark.
Clark, is there a second?
Second,
By Mrs. Browner. Again, we will go through this motion in roll call fashion, Renee. So,
Doug Reeser,
aye.
Sean Wright Browner,
aye.
Mark Clark,
Aye.
Okay, that's 3 ayes. That motion would carry 3-0, so that agreement between Structure Point and the city is approved. Item B is an agreement with C.H. Garman and Sons, Inc., Professional Services. With that agreement, again, I would refer, first of all, to city legal to make sure that this has been reviewed.
Yes, it's been reviewed and all corrections, if any, were made. There were a couple of corrections I asked for and those were made and everything is satisfactory.
Okay, with this professional service agreement, which incorporates several areas that you may have read, but are there other questions that I think Jason Fenwick is present? You can answer any if you have any.
I do not.
Hearing none, is there a motion to approve item B of this agreement with C.H. Garman and Sons, Inc.?
Motion to approve.
By Mrs. Browner. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Clark. Questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor by roll call vote, say aye.
Doug Reeser,
Aye.
Sean Wright Browner,
Aye.
Mark Clark,
Aye.
That agreement carries, the motion carries 3-0, so item B is approved with that agreement. We move to item C, which is the authorization for the Lawrence Police Department to purchase 12 vehicles from Kelly Chevrolet totaling $426,630. And I would assume, and I'm just throwing this out, that this is part of our cycling program that the city goes through with moving new vehicles into the system of our police department.
That's
there
correct.
are questions. Okay, good. And my second question, which I'm assuming always does happen, but just for a matter of record, this has been through the bid process, probably with the best bid being obviously Kelly Chevrolet.
Yes, and I can let Mr. Fenwick elaborate, but after speaking to Mr. Fenwick and Captain Cantrell, this is off the state's QPA, so it went through the bidding process in that regard through the state, so it's off the state's QPA. Is there anything else you need to add, Mr. Fenwick?
No, that's it.
Okay. Other questions about our purchase for the city
Mr.
here?
John, do we have like trade-in value of any vehicles, or is just, what happens to the old vehicles that are recycled out?
Is Captain Cantrell on to answer that?
no, sir.
A lot of times with the, given the reserve force, the cars that are replaced will be handed down likely to the reserve police officers, and then if the car isn't drivable scrappable, so to speak. It'll just get salvaged, but most of the time those cars get, rotated through the reserve ranks to give them something that's a little bit more updated.
Okay.
Would there be other questions concerning the police vehicles? Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion for approval of the purchase of those police vehicles, those 12.
Motion to approve.
By Mrs. Browner, and there is hopefully a second by
Second.
Mr. Clark. Very good. Are there questions on the motion? Hearing none, by roll call vote again, we will vote aye in favor of this motion.
Doug Reeser,
Aye.
Sean Wright Browner,
Aye.
Mark Clark.
Aye.
The authorization for the police department 12 vehicles with Kelly Chevrolet's approved 3-0. Moving on to item D, this is an agreement with NDOT Community Crossing Grant for Harmon Way. And assuming, again, with this agreement, City Legal has reviewed with NDOT, I assume.
Yes, that's correct. This is a standard NDOT agreement, and so I have reviewed it, but it is their standard agreement that they use for these types of projects.
And this is Sri. I just wanted to let the board know that last week we were informed that we received $1 million community crossings grant match money from INDOT. So that would give us a $2 million project. So it's a 50-50 match. So INDOT has given us $1 million, and we'll come up with a $1 million local match, which was already included in the 2020 budget. So this is the first agreement for that community crossing grant for one of the projects for Harmon Way, from Franklin Road all the way to the dead end by the Parks building. So this is the second one. The next one is a second agreement under the community crossing grant, and both of these agreements will add up to the $1 million match that we are getting from INDOT.
That's a very good explanation. Appreciate that. Any questions on this agreement from the board?
No, that answers my question.
Hearing none. Okay, hearing none then, I would ask for a motion to approve this agreement.
Motion to approve.
By Mr. Clark. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mrs. Browner. With the questions on the motion? Hearing none, by roll call vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Doug Reeser,
Aye.
Sean Wright Browner,
Aye.
Mark Clark.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries 3-0, and that agreement is approved. We'll go to item E. This is another agreement with NDOT, and this one is the community crossing grant for the Harrison Park and Samuel Records subdivision. I'm assuming this, having the explanations from item D, this would fit into the same category if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
Okay, good.
Correct.
All right. And again, I assume you and City Legal have reviewed the agreement.
Yes, that's correct. It's a standard NDOT agreement, just as the previous one.
Okey doke. Good to hear. Now, we have any board questions on this one?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion to approve this agreement with NDOT?
Motion to approve.
By Mr. Clark. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mrs. Browner. Questions on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call vote again. Please signify by saying aye on the motion.
Doug Reeser,
Aye.
Sean Wright Browner,
Aye.
Mark Clark.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0, so that agreement with NDOT is also approved. We go to item F.
Mark
This
Davidson.
is,
Has joined the conference.
okay, Renee, did you get
Mark
Davidson?
Mark Davidson? Okay, thank
I
you.
think he has joined us. Okay. Item F is an agreement with Shrewsbury Task Order 4, Community Crossing Grant Bid Assistance with Harmon Way. So we have this agreement.
I can
Go ahead.
just give a brief explanation of this agreement and the next agreement. So just like we approved the agreement with, the board approved the agreements with NDOT, these are two agreements, two task orders with our on-call, the engineer, Shrewsbury and Associates, to do design and provide construction services for these two projects that we got funded through Community Crossing Grant. So the item F is the task order number 4 for design and construction assistance for Harmon Way for a total not to exceed amount of $187,500.
Okay, very good explanation. Do we have questions? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion here with item F, the agreement with the Shrewsbury for approval?
Motion to approve.
By Mrs. Browner, is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Clark. Are there questions on the motion? Hearing none, again, roll call order. Please signify by saying aye for approval, nay for no.
Doug Reeser?
Aye.
Sean Wright Browner?
Aye.
Mark Clark?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. This agreement is approved with Shrewsbury on task order 4. Going with explanations already concerning these two agreements, item G is the agreement with Shrewsbury for task order 7, which is again the community grant bid assistance for Harrison Park and Samuel Record subdivision. Unless someone has questions concerning this agreement, we had explanations. So are there any questions?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agreement with Shrewsbury on task order number 7?
Motion to approve.
By Mr.
Second.
Clark, is there a second by Mrs. Browner by chance?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Browner. You guys both kind of got it at the same time, and we don't have a buzzer, so thank you both for trying to get the motion approved there. We will go right into the roll call vote again, unless there are any questions on the motion, which I'm not hearing any. So roll call vote again. Renee, please.
Doug Reeser? Doug Reeser?
Aye.
Okay, I didn't know if you could hear me. Sean Wright Browner?
Aye.
Mark Clark?
Aye.
That carries 3-0, the agreement with Shrewsbury Task Order 7 and the Harrison Park and Samuel Record subdivision. Comments from administration are next. We know we have some folks with us today. Does anybody have any updates on anything? It's time to do that.
No additional comments.
Okay. Citizens' comments, I'm not aware if we have any citizens that have joined us or not, but I guess we do not at this time. So I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
By Mr. Clark, there's a second.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Browner. Questions on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor by roll call vote?
Doug Reeser?
Aye.
Sean Wright Browner?
Aye.
Mark Clark?
Aye.
We are adjourned 3-0. Thank you, and everybody have a good evening.